So basically what I've done is I've tried to make a little Chat GPT guide for gyms in particular, because there's nothing really for franchisors when I was Googling to find anything about it. So I've got it as a PDF. What I'll do after this is I'll email it to everyone as well. What I've done is there I put a link to access Chat GPT. I've tried to put a bit of an explanation about what it is. I've also put a video from one of the founders in it who can explain and show you why it's not going here. This video was from 3 weeks ago, which is a TED Talk. It goes for around 20 minutes. It's really, really interesting. And you'll just see where it's going, because in his video, he shows the platform with access to special features and other features we don't have yet, which is not available for the public. So I recommend you watch that. And what I've done as well is I've tried to give an overview of the main thing that you need to learn when you're using ChatGPT is how to craft a prompt. Now, prompt's a command. It's a computer, so it's only going to be as good as the command you give it. So what I've done is I've tried to give a little bit of a guide about what prompts and how to craft prompts and what they are. So you can go through here and have a read of that. What I've also done as well is I've tried to give some specific prompts for franchisors. So there are none on the net, so this is probably the only ones that you'll find. But I've gone through a couple of tasks and I've basically written a prompt, a command that you can replicate and put into your ChatGPT and to replicate, and just giving you some examples of outputs here. So you can see here, for example, a prompt is a command that you'll give it. So this one was basically for a newsletter template for franchisees. So franchisees will send newsletters to their database most of the time. So you can say, write a newsletter template that my franchisee in Jim's division, so it could be Jim's Mowing, for example, can use to send to their clients, promote some specials and offers. Please use emojis in the body of the email with a call to action, etc. You can see that this is the output it gave me. So it gave me the subject line, it gave me the dear, then client name, and it gave me all this output here. So I'm going to show you how that all comes. But what I've done is I've put a whole bunch of these franchisor specific templates onto a sheet for you, just as some examples, but you could probably think of hundreds of tasks that you can give it as well. So I'm going to go into the platform now and show you what it is. So if you go to openai.com, underneath products, you'll see ChatGPT. And when you do that, you'll need to make an account to use it. Now, this is the screen of ChatGPT. It is free. Now, it is free, but the problem with it being free is that it always goes down. Everyone's trying to use it. So there's a premium version available, or a subscription version, which is $20 a month, which gives you access to ChatGPT 4, which is the newer model, and you won't just go out of the blue and just drop out. The screen you're looking at here, you'll have a blank screen on yours to start. What I have done, I've actually added an extension. So basically, a company called AIPRM.com is a Google extension you can install on Chrome. And what it does is it actually gives you a whole bunch of marketing prompts and different prompts that are here as well. So for example, I can select on the topic here, copywriting, marketing, for example, and it'll give me a whole bunch of different prompts that people have created. So you don't have to think of different things. For example, there's Facebook ads hook generator, 30 social media post plus image suggestions with one click. You can click on that and then you can punch in a keyword and it'll give you a whole that. So let me just show you what it is. So when you log into the platform, you'll get new chat. Now you can send it any message you want and it'll respond. So for example, just might say, write me an email template to provide my franchisees to promote a mulch special coming into winter months. And this is for my Jim's Mowing franchisees, and write it for an Australian audience. So that's a prompt. Then as you can see on the screen, can everyone see that doing its thing?
What they don't have on the list is that.
Yeah. So everyone can see that there? Yeah. So what it's done is I've given this a prompt here. So this is a prompt, command, whatever you want to call it. And then what it's done is giving me a prompt. It's giving me what I want based on the prompt there. So you can see it hasn't done a bad job. So, it's giving me the subject line, promote your business with Jim's Mowing mulch winter specials, franchisee name. So what you can do is you can copy and paste that to a dashboard. Copy and paste that here. And then you can put it to a Word document and you can say, create 5 variations of this. And you can give your franchisees different email templates that they can use for their marketing purposes. All right. So yeah, so the way, but it's really specific though. So it works on how specific you are. So I might say, for example, write the above again and give me 10 subject lines that will encourage a customer to click through
That's right. Something
on my email. Someone's got their mic on, so I can hear the
in
the background.
Yeah.
Let me just mute that. Cool. All right, write the above again and give me 10 subject lines that will encourage your customer to click through on my email. Use an emoji. So then, for example, it'll rewrite it again and it'll give me a whole bunch of things based on my command. So it all works on your prompts. So any task that you can think of a franchisor in regards to writing, it will help you with. Ones in particular, which will be relevant to you guys, will be backlist emails, for example. So, for example, you might say, craft me an email to send to my backlist of franchise inquiries who have inquired about a Jim's Mobile Tires franchise, and specifically mention the income guarantee of, $2,000 a week per week, and focus on the lifestyle benefits. Then what it'll do is go do its thing again, and it'll give you an email there as well. So it's something that you can see is very, very powerful to use, but it works on specific prompts as well. So in regards to this, I might say, again, write it again, shorter, with some emojis, for example, to break it up, with a space to insert a picture of a franchisee. And then I'll give it to you again. Then you might want to say, write a sequence of 5 variations that I can send over a 5-week period and vary the benefits mentioned in each one. So then it gives you a shorter outline what to do. And you can use this to craft your emails and to help you as well. You might then, if you're sending SMSs, the same thing, saying write me a SMS sequence of 5 SMS messages I can send to franchise prospects based on the above. So it gives you those messages there, right? And you might not like the response. You can say down. You can give it feedback and say wasn't compelling enough or whatever it is. And they'll give feedback to the system. And it'll give you a test basically saying, what it is. So you're training the model as you go, but all this stuff can be copied and pasted into what you want. You can, if you do pay for the model as well, you can give different writing styles. So there's, academic, there can be descriptive, informative, instructive, journalistic, whatever it is. So you can give it different things to use, but it all operates on the prompts you give it. So you've got to know what to ask it. And if you're unsure of what to ask it, installing something like this is really good, because what it'll do, it'll give you a whole bunch of prompts. If I go back to it as well, if I go back to here, you can log in and basically it'll give you a whole bunch of things that people have created. So you could type in, email for whatever. It'll give you someone's email marketing series outline, right? So you could create an email marketing series for, you just punch in basically, let's say, Jim's Cleaning franchises. We'll see what it comes up with, but so it gives you a whole bunch of different things. So you can use that to sort of go, I might like, number 3 there. You might say then elaborate on email number 3. Okay, then you might say rewrite targeted at an Australian customer aged between 40 and 60 years old. And it will do based on what you want it to do. And then you can basically judge it on the output. So that's with the 3.5 model. So language 3.5 model is the one that is free. that you could go into tonight after this and start playing around with. If you go to Chat GPT 4, you can see the differences here. So the reasoning for Chat GPT 3.5 is not as good, but it's far quicker, whereas Chat GPT 4 has got better reasoning. So yeah, I'll go into GPT 4 and just show you some examples as well. I'll put some forward together as well here. Cool. So in regards to something you might, if you're posting on social media for your franchisees, you might say, write me 30 social media captions with a call to action of 131546, or go online to, let's say, gyms.net with suggested images or videos they could do. So what it's doing now, it's just basically creating the outputs based on the prompt. So you can see it's a lot slower than the other one, but it gives a fair bit of detail. But you could do this for your franchisees or yourself even, and you can make it a lot easier on yourself. So for example, what I would do if I was a specific franchisor and I was posting on different things, I might say, write me a 30-day social media calendar. I am a gyms mowing franchisee in New Zealand. Use 0800 454 654 for the number, and to call us for a quote. Focus on promoting our gardening services. Then what it will do is be like your marketing assistant, and it'll give you an outline for 30 days on what you can do for your task. Now, Chat GPT 4 is limited to probably 25 messages every 3 hours, just because even on the paid subscription, but it does give you a far better output. On the free output, Chat GPT 3.5, it will give you a faster output, but it's only read the internet up to a certain point, whereas Chat GPT 4 is being trained on all the new stuff, and it'll give you a far better detail. But you can see there what you can do in terms of a practical sense for your franchisees. You can put together all these different templates and things that they might struggle with, and you can be really proactive with your meetings as well. So, for example, you would copy and paste. You go, right, here's a content calendar or suggested content calendar if you're posting as a franchise. That you can do. You just literally put that ad. So that's going to keep generating until I stop it. A debtors template, a debt letter, email template that my, let's say, gyms cleaning franchisees can use to send to their customers. Please keep in mind it's their customers, so the tone of the message doesn't, you can literally write, doesn't need to be overly harsh. And then what it will do, it'll give you a template you can use. So this could be for an email, this could be for a Word document. You could basically do a bunch of these variations, and you can say, hey guys, here's 5 debtor emails and 5 debtor templates that if you do have trouble in getting payment from your customer that you can send. And you could basically, be really proactive in creating all these templates. Do you have any questions about that sort of stuff? No. So you can look like a genius with all your franchisees if you want. You could just create all this stuff out of the blue and be really proactive at your meetings and all this different thing. But it's something where, in regards to training, you can pretty much, after we do this, you could go to this website and you can start playing around for free, and you're going to type in all this stuff and go, wow, there's all these things I can do. But you can see that it's giving a pretty good output. You might write, if it's not what you want as well, you can tell it, you're having a chat with it, right? So you're training it in here. So you might write, you can literally say, write it a bit shorter. Write it a bit shorter, for example, right? So it's just going to go back through, rewrite it a bit shorter for you. You can also upload content you have that's existing, and you can have it reworded. So for example, you might have 1,000-word email or whatever you've done in the past, some operations manuals or PDFs or whatever you've done. You can copy and paste as much of that as you want, and you give the prompt first. So you might say, rewrite the following text in more of a persuasive style or whatever you want. copy your bulk text in there, and then it'll give you an output based on what you've done as well. So you can take existing collateral that you've got and you can use it with this as well. And then the same thing as well, you could say, write, a couple of SMS options to go with the above. And I'll do it for you as well. So it all operates on the prompts. If you know what to ask it, you can basically use this for a lot of your admin stuff that you're doing. And it's slowly going to start integrating with actual tasks. So at the moment, this is just the conversational thing where we're having a chat with it. What you can do, what I've seen on videos, is there will be options where you can actually upload spreadsheets and you can say, interpret this data into a pie chart or to a histogram, and it'll create a histogram for you based on Excel spreadsheets and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different functionalities that it can do. It's got an open API as well. But you can see that it can just do a mountain of different things. And what I've done on this list here as well, I'm going to show you. I've just put them into, as I said at the start, a table for you. So I put some suggestions in there with some outputs for you if you don't know what to ask it as well. But this is something that I recommend you do. I'll give you a couple of other practical examples as well. We do have blogs that we always ask for divisionals and different things as well. So you can basically say, write me a blog post or write me a newsletter blog post on the subject. So for example, let's say on, how to grow vegetables in your garden. And it will basically write you a guide or write it out. Now, in regards to duplicate content, you can use different tools to check it. So for example, there are online tools where you can basically copy and paste it and post it in there, and it will tell you how much of it's AI or detectable by AI or not. So, if you do need to create blog articles, ebooks, all that sort of stuff, this thing can do it for you. Does anyone have any questions about this at all? Is it getting you excited at all? It is,
mate. Yeah,
I hope it is.
Really interesting, and it's going to take away a lot of the problem of just extra easier prompts to get us onto the right path again.
Well, the key is the prompts, and you can also not only just use it for prompts. You can take, the way I would use it is with that PDF I've created for Franchisors specifically will give you some ideas, but you'll be able to do so much more things. But you can take existing content that you've got, so operations manuals or things like that. You might say, you might copy and paste it and say, update the below content to be in line with 2022 OH&S work guidelines in Australia, whatever it is, and it'll update it for you and it can give you an output. The other thing to use it for is ideas. So it's a really good idea generator. So, even though this is writing me pretty much a blog post, which you can copy and paste, you might want to say, give me, you got to be specific. So you say, I am a gyms, let's say cleaning franchisor, and I hold regular meetings with my franchise owners. Please give me some specific ideas of things I can talk about at my next franchise owner meeting. So, it might not be 100% right with what it's saying, but it can give you just a bit of an idea. So it's as good as a personal assistant idea checker. So you can basically, any idea you want, you might want to say how to market mobile tires to my, to the Melbourne market. What are some things that I haven't tried? I've tried this, this, and this, and it might give you a couple of suggestions that you might never have thought of. So as an idea generating tool, this is something that's really good as well. So as you can see there, this is stuff that probably is already done in the cleaning meetings, but there might be one or two in there that you might go, oh, okay, I didn't think about that, right? So it could be there as assistance as well. You can also get it to expand on the points. So you might say, okay, well, I like number 4, write me a meeting outline plan based on number 4, and I might give you specific action points based on number 4. Mm-hmm. So you can see that's very generic information that you already would present, and you probably already hold your meetings at. But you can see how it's a really good tool to use. So in regards to going back and interacting with it, let's say, elaborate on, let's say, elaborate actually on point 5 and provide some specific talking points to raise about that. So I'll give you a bit more information about it as well. So rather than going to Google as well, like, you can go to Google and type in and find various things. You can come to Chat GPT and open it up and you can basically ask it. The difference is that with Google, you've got to be the decision maker in regards to what you read and if you decide that's accurate or not. And you've got multiple options. With Chat GPT, it's going to give you the suggested answer off it as well. So that's probably the difference.
Joel, you mentioned the AI PRM. Is that, did you say that it was to do with Google? Is it a Google?
Well, it installs it as a Chrome. Yeah, so it sits on top of this Chat GPT. So you would install it into your browser if you use Chrome.
Into your browser.
So I'm just go here and you guys install API for Chat. And the reason why it's good is just because if you don't know what to ask it, it will give you a whole bunch of things of what you can ask it. So if I'm just going to here now, so these are what we call, these are publicly submitted prompts. So these are things that people from the public have created that they think can be useful. And then the way you judge if it's any good or not is you can basically take a consensus from the community. So you can see here, I don't know how well you can see on here, but you can see how this one's got 2.7 thousand likes. It's got 209,000 comments and it's had 356 eyeballs. So you could probably take it that prompt that someone's created is a good prompt, right? So this one says, get a monthly content calendar in one click. So you can go here and it says, insert the primary keyword that you want to create for. So they've created the prompt in the background to do it. So for example, I might just go, I'm going to type in, let's say organic cleaning products, right? I'm just going to use that as an example. So this could be anything, though, mobile tires, all that sort of stuff. So it's giving you literally a content calendar that you could basically copy and paste. So it's just giving you some examples there. On Monday, 10 reasons why organic cleaning products are better than traditional cleaning. Tuesday, ultimate guide to home cleaning products. So, it gives you all these different things you can use. You can also do things like tables as well. So one example for franchisors, which I thought was handy, was basically, create a table showing the benefits of owning a gyms franchise as opposed to starting as an independent business in Australia. So if you're creating like an info pack or something like that, you can basically, copy and paste this collateral and put it in there as well. You can adjust it. It's all based on what your feedback is and it'll tell you. But it's not a bad starting point for something that's taken literally 1 second to create as well. So it's basically an assistant for you for various tasks. If you're not sure what to ask it as well, I will provide this Jim's Chat GPT little guide that I provided as well. But yeah, you can come here, use it, install AI PRM if you want. You can also Google specific prompts as well, Marissa. So if you go to Google and type in, give me marketing prompts, there'll be things you can buy and there'll be web pages which have already got 1,000 on there. It's just there as a good idea generator. In regards to, and it's only as good as what you ask it. So if I got a new chat here as well, the reason why it's good, if you don't know exactly how to ask it, this AI PRM extension tool, which sits on top, will give you a whole bunch of different things here. So the ones that you want to probably maybe use as a franchisor maybe will be copywriting for your emails, marketing just in general, there could be some productivity things as well. You could ask it, what should I eat tonight? It will tell you based on your summary, on your height and your weight, SEO, and all these different things as well. So yeah, there's some really cool ones. The coolest ones I think are interesting is Outrank article. So Outrank article basically is you can type in a competitor URL. So I'm just going to go to, let's say Jim's Mowing, for example. I'm going to go to the blog. So you can do this for any industry or anything you want. So I'm just going to pick any article here. No, it's taking too long. Let me go somewhere else. Let me just I'll pick Jim's Cleaning. I know you guys have got a blog that's updated all the time. So let's just go to the articles, for example. Okay, so how to declutter. So you can come to any web blog article you want. You can copy and paste the link. You can put it into this prompt here. And what it will do, it'll analyze it. It'll look at the article that's been on your website and it'll take it and it'll rewrite it. And it'll give you all these different things. So that was with Chat GPT 3.4. Let me just try it with number 4, just a high level one. So go at rank article again. Let's see the difference.
Is that basically just trying to rewrite it so that you get a higher ranking in your SEO?
Correct. Yep, correct. Yep. So you can see the difference between. So the last one I'd done was with 3.5, and you saw how quick it was. Now this is number 4. So this is the higher model. And you can see here it's taking more time, and it's probably giving a better response. But yes, it is. It scans the article and it tries to rewrite it in a way that's going to rank it for SEO. So I might extend it in regards to the bullet points of the blog outline. But you can see here it's actually doing a really good job of the article. What you would then do is you would obviously need to check what you put up. If you're doing it for blog article creation and you actually are going to post it online, there's a tool called originality.ai. You can basically then copy and paste this in there and see if it's going to get flagged or not. So it's a really, really cool tool. Now you can see how this is, if you're paying money for blogs and stuff, you can see how much this really, really will help you. When we ask you for newsletter contributions and stuff for divisionals, especially, something like this would be fantastic to grab. But this can be an idea as well. Like you might, you still want to add some sort of human element to it. You might want to add real photos in there as well, which is a big one. So if there's actually real photos that you can complement as opposed to stock photos, that helps. You might want to rewrite things a little bit, add different links. But you can see that's doing a pretty good job. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. So
if it does get flagged in the originality AI, I suppose you can just make changes to it yourself. Is that right?
Yeah. So I'll show you what that tool is. And this is for blog articles specifically. Let me just show you the tool. It operates on credit, so it charges you. I'll go Google and find it. It charges you based on how many words it reads. So it's like, let me just go here. So this is AI content detector. It's around 1 cent per credit, 1 credit to scan 100 words. And you would go here, and you can run through it and it will detect if it's, going to get flagged or not. So that's if you want to use it and publish it on websites and stuff like that. You can see that it gives an original score of this and AI score of this. So yeah, if you create articles and stuff with this and you want to post it online, you could definitely use this to help check as well. But in saying that,
how does it get flagged as being developed through AI?
Well, it's a good question, Marissa. I'm not 100% sure because I follow some people who do niche blogs and they make a lot of money just by posting content and putting monetizing ads in it. And they've got some websites with full AI content produced by Chat GPT and they're not getting any penalties. It's going fine. So I think it's a bit of a scare tactic, but what Google is rolling out is that they've rolled out a new update called EEAT. So they're trying to get websites to have, ranking with more experience. So things like, showing you using a video of the product or a real photo of an actual cleaning situation as opposed to a stock photo and giving that higher authority and all that sort of stuff. So I don't think it can detect me personally, how that it would know that it's been generated by AI or not. Obviously plagiarism, you get flagged for plagiarism. So for example, if you copy something's online, it's been indexed by Google and you copy and paste it and put it on your website, in theory, from what Google tells us, that should get, downranked and you should, that's plagiarism, right? Whereas with this, what the AI is doing is it's read this page, but it's giving it to you in a slightly different variation based on what you've asked it. So it's using this information or always use these different web pages of human input to create you a human sounding like input based on the prompt that you give it. So it's not creating the content itself. It's basically read all pages on the internet pretty much. And it's taking it and making a piece of a puzzle out of basically what you've given it to be human-like. So it's not, me personally, I think it'll be a long way before they could detect this sort of stuff. But the thing is you want to create it to rank. So, if you create it to rank, you want to add in all the extra things like appropriate links. You want to make sure there's 3 or 4 real photos, not photos off Canva or stock photos, but actual real photos to go with it. You might add some stats in there. You might add a table with some facts, these sorts of things based on a study. So that's how you would do it. But you can use these tools like Originating AI for plagiarism detector to see if the AI is actually giving you a plagiarized answer. But from what I know, it doesn't really do that. And Google can't detect if the content's been written by AI from what I've been reading, but it can detect plagiarism. So if the AI answer is giving you, spitting out exactly the same as this page, plagiarism most likely flagged. But if it's giving you a unique answer based on this page or based on all the pages it's read to the subject, and but it's unique in its format, you're not going to get flagged.
Great, thank you.
That's what I think, but I don't know if I'm right or not. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm watching from a lot smarter people than me and what they're saying. But you can see that this is an example of the difference between Chat GPT 3.5 and 4. So you can see it's giving you bolded headlines. So that's the H1, yep. And it's giving you the H2 and it's giving you a better outline. But as I said, this operates based on what you say. So you can basically see, write it with 7 steps, 10 steps, whatever it is, write it shorter, write it longer, write it in more of an authoritative type tone, these sorts of things, and it will give you a different output. So it will operate based on your outputs and assist you. So if you are, as a franchisor, if you need to write blog content or whatever it is, this is a fantastic tool to use. Most SEO agencies and content agencies might say they're using full human writers, but I can guarantee you most of their writers now are using this in some sort of way. Yeah. And then I would also use this for backlist emails to franchise prospects, SMS templates, social media captions. So just give you an example. I don't know if anyone from Dogwash is on, but I would say, they always use social media captions. So write me 10 social media captions to accompany to go with my Instagram post about Jim's Dog Wash promoting our grooming services. Now I just use the word, I'm just using 10 there just to make it a bit quicker. But, you could go, you could put together a list of 100 and then you could have it, hey guys, here's 100 captions that you can use for any time you post on social media about your business. So you can see how much of a genius it'll make you look like. You can be really proactive with this, and any function you're doing now, which is written or requires some sort of, you may be coming up with ideas, you can use this as your assistant. So yeah, anyone got any questions about that? It's pretty self-explanatory. It's something where you're probably best just to jump off and just log in yourself and play around and start playing with it and start learning it. And it's very, very useful. The next, I would recommend just for this to see what it's going to do in the future. This is a TED Talk. This was released 3 weeks ago with one of the founders, this one here. I would watch this because that's got functions that we don't have access to yet. Now, the next step for this is basically tasks. So at the moment, at the top here, if you watch this video, you can integrate this with various other apps. So, what we're doing at the moment, I've got to copy and paste this still, and there's still manual work that I have to do to schedule this. What it's trying to do at the moment is you can integrate with an app like Zapier or something, and you could not only say, write me 10 tweets or 10 captions or whatever it is, you can then say, schedule it at a week interval apart on this page, and it'll go and it will schedule it in the background. All right. So that's what it's sort of going to now. So that's not available really yet, but when this starts integrating with tasks, and being able to integrate with other apps on the web, that's when it's going to really, really, really be a lot more helpful. The next, and other things like, booking an airplane flight, you can go to Expedia or whatever and book a plane flight, but you might want to use this and say, book me a flight at this date on this ideal time. Don't go past this price ceiling. Make sure I get this, blah, 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 blah. It will go queue that task up into a program and hopefully be able to do it. But that's down the track. So at the moment, this is just basically AI chat language model. You'll see this thing everywhere now. So it's in Snapchat. It will be in, I use a tool called Notion. It's in Notion. So what companies are doing is they're sitting on top of this because there's an open API and they're making things easier. So there's another really cool one. If you are interested in blog article creation called Koala Writer. Koala Writer basically sits on top of Chat GPT, and it just makes it easier for if you don't know what prompts to ask it. So basically, if you go blog post, what's the target keyword? So you might say best mobile tires, best mobile, let's say tires franchise to buy. And then it'll say SEO optimized. So you can optimize the post. You might say AI powered. What's the tone of voice? Say SEO optimized. Use outline editor. You create outline. And then what it will do, this will sit on top of, this is sitting on top of Chat GPT or OpenAI. It's actually in the system at the moment. And it's formulating a response based on that prompt that I gave it in the different variables. And it's going to write that up for me now as well. So there's all these tools coming out. There'll be different things that get built. But the one that you can use and one that everyone's got access to is this one here. Does anyone have any questions about this sort of stuff? No. So
just quickly back on that. So that koala one, that's mainly designed so it gets you to write prompts to be able to get into it.
No, this one's more designed for blog writing or blog writing. So basically what happens at the moment, like if you go in here, you might have to type in 10 prompts to get the blog article you write. So you might write, I'll give you an example. So you might say, rather than just saying, write me an article like this, you might say, give me 10 blog article titles targeting the keyword, let's say, best mobile tires franchise to buy. So I'll give you 10 suggestions, and then you've got to go and you've got to then pick the best one you want to pick, and then you might say, make sure that's SEO optimized and stuff. So you're doing all these different extra steps. What a tool like Koala Writer will do, it will sit on top. It will sit on top of it. Hopefully you did it. It'll sit on top of it for you and just make it a lot easier. So we'll know what you're asking for, and then it'll do the job for you as well. That's just one example of one thing as well. I'm just trying to find an example of something here. Cool. So
Joel, can I just ask you one other thing?
Yeah.
So if you're writing, like, say if you're developing a website and you want to write, copy for different pages.
Yes.
So I can imagine, is Koala Writer, would you be able to use it for that?
Well, I would use Chat GPT.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'd use Chat GPT for that one. But yes, absolutely. That's what you would do it for. You could be really specific about it. I've done my document here as well. What I've done, I've gone and collated a whole bunch of prompt examples. So if you scroll down to here, for example, like I've given a whole bunch of different prompts that you could copy and paste. So yeah, exactly right, Marissa. You would go there and say, write me. You got to be specific. So you say, what business are you writing it for? What type?
Oh, I'm thinking totally for myself, not for gyms.
Yeah, no, just for yourself. Like what type of business?
Oh, it's a mid-century furniture business.
Perfect. So, you'd literally train it. So you'd want to interact with it and say, I own a mid-century furniture business in the suburb of this, or in Perth. I'm creating a website. Can you help me create my website? And always say, yes, we can create a website. Then you can say, I need to have a services page on this particular thing at this word length. Can you please write it for me? And I'll write it for you. If you don't like it, you can say, rewrite it again, targeted more as an Australian audience. My target market is blah, 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 and I'll write it again for you. Great. So you can play around with that. And the more you interact with it in a chat, the more it will understand the way you speak and you ask it, and it'll get better and better and better. But you can see here from this one here. So I basically asked for 10 blog articles in this, and I would say, okay, write a blog outline on number, let's say on number 4. So I'll go and look at the outline that it's given me. So it's going up here to number 4, and it's basically going to give me that as well. And then what you might want to do is you might outsource this to an editor or to someone to actually write it with really specific information about your business. But you can see that it's just giving me a nice blog outline for that as well. So it's there. It can serve either as something which can do legwork for you, and you can copy and paste it and integrate it in what you do as a daily task as a franchisor. Or the second thing is it's an idea generation tool. Then once you get used to this tool now, in 1 or 2 or 3 years' time, as it starts integrating with various other things and can actually do tasks based on the prompt you give it, that will be the really powerful thing. And it's only $20 a month. So $20 a month for the Chat GPT 4 paid subscription. The difference between Chat GPT 4 and 3.5 is 4 gives a better output, but it's definitely 25 messages every 3 hours. Cool. Does everyone have any questions about that sort of stuff, or ask about any uses or some things that it can do? Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all you need to do after this, if you want to use it, is basically go to, let me just find it as well. You can just go to Google, type in open.ai.com. You can go to GPT-4 or ChatGPT, or open it up. It will ask you to create an account. You create it for free and away you go. There is also an image version of it. So there's ones like Midjourney and stuff, but DALL-E 2, you can actually click here and you can actually do the same thing, and it'll produce images based on your prompt. So for example, I could say here, an oil painting of a mechanic for whatever reason. And then what it'll do, it'll take my prompts and it'll give me 4 pictures based on that prompt. And we're just going to wait for it to load up. There are a lot better ones than this, but this could, you can use this for your blog article, featured posts and stuff like that. So you can see that there I've asked for an oil painting of a mechanic. It's tried to give me an oil painting of a mechanic. So, that's based on the same website. So that doesn't cost anything as well. That's something that you can use, and you can create as much as you want. Didn't do a good job of gym. I've actually asked it to do some gym ones, and that's what it gave me. I said for a painting in the style of Mona Lisa, but with the Jim's mowing fan with a bucket head and beard, and that's what they think he must look like. So, yeah. So you can. This is the picture version of it. It's available on the same website. It costs nothing as well, and you can have a lot of fun with it. The way this is just more of a side thing, but that's called DALL-E. There's another one called.
So is that creating pictures for you, Joel?
Yeah. Based on your prompts, yeah.
Yeah, so there's no copyright issues because it's creating them.
No. So it's using AI and creating. Yeah, absolutely. There's no copyright issues at all with this as well. This one is probably not the best in regards to what it produces. The better one's called Midjourney. Now, Midjourney, if you use Discord and stuff, you can use Midjourney. Takes a lot more learning. But I'll show you Midjourney. Midjourney, this is just for images. It's not something that's you're probably going to use, but if you are interested in it, Midjourney is really cool. Midjourney is the higher level one. Just trying to find some examples of it. Let me go here, sorry. So Midjourney basically produces images like this sort of stuff. So it's really photorealistic. There's no copyright issues. So you can basically say anything you like, be as manageable as possible as well, and it'll give you a whole bunch of things. So in case, if you want to use these picture generating softwares, there are prompts for that as well. So, you could come here. That program is called Midjourney or DALL-E. DALL-E is another one. If they've got anything, we go all, sorry. I don't have any. All right, then we go Midjourney. Yeah, so Midjourney, and then it will give you a prompt on what to ask it to produce certain images, which are like this. So this is probably not overly related to what you do, but if you do want to have a bit of fun and experiment, you can use that. There is a market now for digital art, so people actually go and create all these different AI arts and they sell them on an Etsy store and stuff like that. But there's one more tool that I will show you. Now, this is all using OpenAI, but this one, if you want to create blog content at scale, this one's called Byword. Now, Byword gives you a free sample, so you can create pretty much 10 articles for nothing. But why Byword is really cool is you can create batch content. So, with Google, you sort of need topical authority. So you want to cover a subject and answer many different questions to that subject. But what it does is you can type in a keyword. Let me just say mobile tires, for example. When it comes up, I can give it just one keyword, best mobile tires for Australian road users. And you can see in here, it's got words and avoid detection. So if you are a paid subscriber of this, you can actually say enable and avoid AI detection in Vader. So they've got all these different things as well. But this can create for you a batch generator. So you can create like 50 articles. It might take an hour. You just give it the prompts and it'll create you 50 articles based on the keywords and stuff like that. So if you're creating websites from scratch, or you want to have topical authority for your divisional website, or just create a whole bunch of blog articles to add for whatever reason, you can come in here. It's all based on paid, so you can give it one keyword. So let's say the project, let's just say Jim's cleaning website. So project input, so you're going to give it keywords, or you can give it article titles. So you could go to Chat GPT and you can say, give me 30 low competition keywords. Let me just go to Chat GPT 4, sorry. Give me 30 low competition keywords on the subject of organic cleaning products that I could rank for. Now, this is a lazy way. You probably want to do actual keyword research. Oh, so it's giving me prompts. Sorry, let me stop that. Better get out of that. So let me go new chat here. Cool. Now what you could do, you could come into, you obviously want to fact check that, but you could come into Byword, for example, and you could list those 30 keywords. And if you have enough credits, you can actually integrate your website and then go create, and it will create you 30 articles at this word length. You can actually have it to 2,000, 3,000. You integrate it into WordPress with your website, and it'll put them all as drafts on your WordPress website. So you could have 30 articles put into your website with an image. So I'm just going to try and show you what an example of an article looks like. So I'm just going to show you one here. So this is what one of the examples of the articles looks like. So that's a unique AI generated image. So you're not going to get flagged or anything for copyright. And you can see here, it's giving me the article. And I can copy and paste that and put it into my website, or you can actually integrate it into your WordPress website and it'll put it in there automatically. So you could have a project for your website and you could create 50 articles. It might cost you maybe $100 or whatever it is, $2 an article, and you're going to have uniquely written content for your website. And this is a way to get topical authority. So if you want your website to be known for organic cleaning products, you have to answer numerous questions that are all about organic cleaning products. So Google knows that's what you're answering about. So you can see that this is a really cool tool. This sits on top of something like OpenAI, goes into your website. But this is if you're writing website content or you want to do mass content generation. So that tool called Byword, really cool product. So you can see all the different things you can do with it. Does anyone have any questions before I let you all go? Because it's something where if you just play it, you're going to learn heaps of stuff.
No, that's great, Joel. Thank you.
Cool. No worries. Cool.
Does it always write for an Australian audience, or have you got to tell it to do that every time based on the Aussie English dictionary?
Yeah, so if you keep the chat open, so if I keep a chat and I'm interacting, so see on the left here, I've got these different chats. So that's different things I've been asking it. So if you're going back into the same chat and you've already given that prompt on how to write it for an Australian audience, it will write it again like that. But that's just something that I use. So yes, if you open up the same chat, you won't have to type that in every time. It will know what you're doing. As soon as you open up a new chat, think of it as a blank slate. You just have to engineer it or give it the right prompts to do what you need to do.
Yep.
Cool. Anyone have any questions before I shoot off?
So Joel, are you going to send us some information via email on all of this?
Yeah.
It's obviously quite overwhelming at the moment, but yeah, it'd be nice to be able to absorb it in our own time.
Yeah. So what I'll do, I'll send you some information after this. To keep it really simple, what I would say is go make an account at OpenAI and bring up a chat like this and just play with it. So that's probably the best thing to do. It is overwhelming, but what I would do is I would when you're going through your week as a franchisor or divisional franchisor, I would look at everything I'm writing and all these tasks that I've got to go and take action and type into something. Can I create a prompt, or can I systemize it so that I can recall that every time, import it into this, and it can give me an output that I want? So that's the way I would look at it. But yes, I'll send an email to you with access to this sheet here. What I would recommend you do, create a Word document for yourself. And when you come up with a good prompt that gives you a good output that's useful to you as a franchisor, or that could be useful for your franchisees, just put it onto a Word doc. And that's what I would recommend.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyone got any questions or anything?
No, that's great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for your questions and your interaction. I'm going to upload this as a YouTube video. I'll put it into the group tomorrow as well, and I'll send it as an email tomorrow as well. If you've got any questions as well, feel free to get back to me. The reason why I took time in showing this is because this is not a fad. It's not going anywhere. And in regards to what's possible with it, if you watch the YouTube video, the TED Talk with the founder, you'll see what's going to come around the corner. It's really, really exciting. So, all right, I'll leave you guys there. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks,
and
Joel.
Thanks, Joel.
all right, guys.
Thanks again.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.